Las Vegas is a city in trouble. It is not just the casinos or tourists who are feeling it. The decline is hitting small businesses, workers, and local families who once depended on the city's economy. Hotels are empty, restaurants are closing, and shops that used to be busy now sit empty. For small business owners, it is a huge blow. For service workers, it means fewer tips, fewer shifts, and an uncertain future. If you think Las Vegas's problems only affect the big casinos or tourists, think again. What is happening here is a sign of something much bigger. In this video, we will break down what is going on in Las Vegas, how it is affecting real people, and why these problems could spread to the US economy. By the end, it will be clear that this is more than a story about one city. It is a warning for all of us. 1. Let's talk figures. We will let the statistics speak for themselves. Take a look at the numbers. 8 months in a row of falling visitors is not just a small drop. It is a steady slide that shows a worrying trend. August alone saw 6.7% fewer people than last year. Step back and look at the bigger picture, and that adds up to 2.2 million fewer visitors this year. Even conventions and events, which usually bring in crowds and keep the city busy, could not turn things around. Hotels are feeling the impact just as sharply. Occupancy rates have dropped to 77.5%. Midweek rooms are sitting empty more often than usual. Revenue per room has fallen by over 11%. This is not just a slow weekend or a bad summer. The decline is spreading across the whole hospitality sector. The effects ripple out. Empty hotel rooms mean fewer people eating out, shopping, or visiting local attractions. Restaurants are quieter. Shops are seeing slower sales. Workers who rely on tips or hourly wages are feeling the pinch. These numbers are more than statistics. They show real people and businesses being affected. Looking at the data, it is clear the city's visitor economy is under pressure. But why is this happening? Is it just a bad year, or is there something bigger behind the numbers? Let's dig in and find out. 2. The shift to luxury tourism. U.S. tourism is shifting toward high-end travel. Las Vegas is at the center of this change. The city is moving from a place anyone could enjoy to one mainly for the wealthy. The goal wasn't to crash the city, but the shift is clear. This strategy, called premium repositioning, targets tourists willing to spend big on luxury hotels, exclusive shows, and custom experiences. Because of this, the middle class is being priced out. Older hotels, motels, and small businesses are disappearing, replaced by high-end resorts for rich travelers. For locals and hospitality workers, this is tough. Fewer regular visitors means fewer tips, lower income, and a smaller role in the city's economy. Even basic costs are going up. Hotel rooms, meals, entertainment, everything is more expensive. Those $50 resort fees are a clear sign that Las Vegas is becoming a place only the wealthy can comfortably enjoy. The city's culture is changing too. It used to be open to everyone, a place for a fun night no matter your budget. Now, it's leaning towards an exclusive luxury vibe. This isn't just happening in Vegas. Across the US, tourist cities are focusing more on rich visitors, leaving middle-class travelers behind. The US luxury travel market was worth $397.9 billion in 2024 and is expected to grow steadily through 2030. Wealthy travelers want privacy, comfort, and unique experiences, and cities like Las Vegas are adjusting to meet that demand. The problem is this focus on high-spending tourists could backfire. If the model fails, the effects won't just hit Las Vegas. They could impact other cities that rely on regular visitors. The bigger question is whether this is just a short-term change or a warning of deeper economic issues that could affect jobs, small businesses, and the city's reputation as a travel destination. 3. How it affects the people. While the numbers tell part of the story, the real impact is on the people behind them. Small businesses in Las Vegas are struggling to survive. Many relied on steady tourist traffic, but now streets are empty and sales are falling. One local tattoo artist, whose income has dropped to $1,500 a month, said, "No tax on tips, that's a rad thing. But it doesn't really do us much good if there aren't any people to get tips from." He also noted that Canadian customers, who made up 30% of his clients, have vanished completely. For many local workers, uncertainty is growing. Hotel staff, waiters, and bartenders face reduced hours and smaller tips. With fewer visitors, businesses that thrived on tourism are seeing lower earnings, forcing some to close or lay off employees. The strain isn't just on workers or tourists. Small businesses, families, and longtime residents are all struggling to stay afloat. Las Vegas used to be a city that welcomed everyone, but rising prices, parking fees, resort charges, and tough gambling odds are making it increasingly difficult for regular visitors. Many tourists are now taking their vacations and gambling elsewhere. This problem isn't limited to Las Vegas. Cities across the US that rely on tourism, from Orlando to New York, are seeing similar trends. The changes in Vegas serve as a warning for the broader economy. This is not a short-term issue. It has been building for years and continues to affect workers, small businesses, and visitors. Now, let's talk a little more about those consequences. But before then, if you are loving these videos so far, subscribe for more. 4. The long-term consequences. So, now let's look at the consequences. The shift toward luxury tourism in Las Vegas may bring in quick money, but it also comes with serious long-term problems. This change is not just about fancy hotels or exclusive events. It is reshaping the city's whole economy in ways that could affect it for many years. One major issue is that Las Vegas is becoming more vulnerable to economic trouble. In the past, the city's wide range of tourists helped it bounce back from hard times, including the 2008 financial crisis. But by focusing mainly on wealthy visitors, the city is relying on only one group. If something goes wrong in the luxury market, whether because of global problems, economic changes, or new spending habits, Las Vegas could suffer. In the old model, different kinds of visitors kept the city strong. Now, its survival depends mostly on rich tourists, who may not always come or spend as much. Another problem is the way the middle class is being pushed out. As the city becomes more expensive, many regular visitors can no longer afford to come. This is a big loss because the middle class used to make up most of the city's tourists. It also changes the city's culture. Las Vegas used to be a place for everyone, but it is slowly becoming a destination, mainly for wealthy people. For workers in hotels, restaurants, and casinos, this can mean lower pay and fewer job opportunities as the focus shifts to serving the elite. This widening gap between the rich and the working class is changing the heart of the city. Local shops and small businesses that once served everyday visitors are shutting down because they cannot keep up with rising costs. The friendly, accessible spirit Las Vegas was known for is fading, and it may never fully return. And the impact does not stop there. Other tourist cities in the United States, such as Miami, Orlando, and New York City, could face the same problems if they follow this trend. A luxury-only approach may attract wealthy visitors at first, but it can drive away the larger group of people who keep these cities' economies alive. The most worrying part is that this is not just a short-term shift. It is a deep, long-lasting change that will shape the economy for years. As the effects continue to grow, the real question is whether this new strategy will help or hurt these cities. Will Las Vegas recover, or will its focus on luxury tourism leave it weaker in the future? 5. What's at stake? Las Vegas is the biggest example, but it's not alone. International tourism is down across the US, with 14 to 18% fewer visitors so far in 2025, costing an estimated $9 billion. More cities are focusing on luxury tourism for wealthy travelers. As pointed out earlier, that leaves middle-class visitors behind. This is hitting local businesses and putting about 40,000 travel and hospitality jobs at risk. Over time, these changes could affect not just Nevada, but the wider US economy and anyone who relies on tourism to make a living. Cities like Miami, Orlando, and New York also depend heavily on tourism for jobs and income. What's happening in Las Vegas highlights the risks of focusing too much on wealthy visitors. When cities push out the middle class, they lose the steady stream of tourists that once kept their economies strong. Without that balance, cities become more vulnerable to economic shocks. The impact goes beyond hotels and casinos. Service workers, such as waiters, hotel staff, drivers, and retail employees rely on a consistent flow of customers to earn a living. Fewer regular tourists mean less spending across the city. Small businesses, community services, and public programs can all suffer when the middle-class visitor base disappears. If more cities adopt this luxury-only model, the economic divide could widen further. What started as a way to attract richer tourists could end up harming local communities and weakening city economies nationwide. For Las Vegas and any city considering this shift, the real question is whether this strategy can last. Can a city survive by focusing mainly on wealthy tourists? Or does it risk losing the mix of visitors that once made it strong? 6. Can Vegas recover? Las Vegas is having a hard time, but there are people who believe it will rebound. The big question is whether the city can recover. Things look tough, but Las Vegas can still change and rebuild its economy. The real decision is whether to keep chasing luxury visitors or go back to a mix that includes everyone. One way to recover is to bring back affordable options for regular people. The middle class used to be a huge part of what made Las Vegas successful. If the city offers both cheap and expensive hotels, shows, and restaurants, more people will be able to visit again. This would strengthen the city's economy and reduce its risk. Another step is helping local businesses. Many small shops and restaurants have closed because everything has become too expensive and too focused on the wealthy. If the city supports these businesses, it can bring back jobs and rebuild the community. But fixing things will take time. Las Vegas has to find a balance between affluent visitors and the needs of everyday workers and families. If it only focuses on luxury tourism, the city will continue to struggle. Other cities like New York and Miami tried the same luxury-focused idea and are now dealing with problems like rising inequality and unstable economies. Las Vegas can learn from their mistakes and choose a smarter path. In the end, the future of Las Vegas depends on the choices it makes now. Will the city return to a more balanced tourism model, or will it keep going in a direction that creates more problems? The answer will decide what Las Vegas becomes in the years ahead. 7. The death of the Vegas promise. For decades, Las Vegas was the one city where anyone could feel rich for a night. It offered fun, excitement, and luxury at a price regular people could afford. That was the Vegas promise, and it made the city special. But that promise is disappearing. Vegas is shifting toward high-end tourism, turning into a playground for the ultra-wealthy. As prices rise, middle-class visitors, small businesses, and service workers are being pushed out. The city that once welcomed everyone is slowly becoming a place built only for those who can pay top dollar. The problem is that it isn't just a new trend. It's changing the city's identity. The diverse crowd that gave Vegas its energy is fading, and whole communities that depended on affordable tourism are feeling the impact. As the old Vegas slips away, the city risks losing the spirit that made it famous. And the shift has a bigger meaning. Las Vegas is becoming a warning sign for the rest of the country. If one major city can be reshaped this quickly for the wealthy alone, others could follow. The story of Vegas is now a test of what happens when a city abandons the people who built it. 8. A wake-up call for the US. As we saw in the stats earlier, Las Vegas is not just losing its sparkle. Data shows just how important tourism is to the US economy. A drop in international visitors can have ripple effects, especially for cities that rely on tourism to grow. Local businesses and workers are already feeling the strain, and job losses in hospitality could rise quickly if the trend continues. With a projected loss of up to $6 billion, this isn't just a short-term problem. It could point to bigger issues in the US tourism industry. As places like Las Vegas focus more on luxury tourism, the middle-class visitor is being pushed out, and the market is increasingly dominated by wealthy travelers. If this continues, it could lead to more economic instability and job losses nationwide. Cities need to act fast. Tourism's decline is a warning sign, and strategies are needed to attract high-end visitors without losing the broader base that keeps the economy strong and vibrant. This isn't just about Vegas. Cities across the US that rely on tourism, like Orlando, New York, and Miami, could face the same problems if they follow this path. The amount of visitor traffic they get will reduce greatly. The shift toward high-end tourism is changing how cities work and who gets to enjoy them. The stats show the trend clearly. When cities focus only on the wealthy, the middle class suffers, local businesses struggle, and the economy weakens. Las Vegas is showing us what happens when inclusivity is replaced with luxury for a few. The signs are clear, and the choices we make now will shape the future of cities across the country. The collapse of Las Vegas is a warning for the entire US economy, but can the city recover from this shift? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing crisis. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.